Sharky, hello. Hello, Sharky. I'm gonna post my Instagram. Man, there's this guy on Instagram. He's like this like French chef. I wouldn't call him a pastry chef, but he makes like sweets. And he's very good. He just popped up when I opened up Instagram. But that's not why I'm here. I'm making a story. Hello, do you like this? Did you know that in terms of something, Vaporeon is the son? Oh god, I'm live on Twitch instead. Don't talk. Oh god. Time to post a sticker with my link inside. Comfy cat. Who's that? What's happening? Can't see. Hold on a second. Hold on just a dang old second. There we go. Okay. All right. French chef man, you have to go away now. What happened? Who did that? Cozy! 31 months! Oh my god, that's a whole month of months. What do I get for the 3-year badge? I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. Is there a 3-year badge? I don't actually know what the... I set up the ones for the 1-year badge. And like... up to 1 year anyway. And I think that's all they let me do at that time. And... now I'm like... I was like, oh, in a year. I have a year to think about getting more badges. Congratulations, Azrael. I'm sure that wasn't easy. Hello. I'm just taking my tea. I hope you're all ready for a mystery most foul, a murder most foul. The good lunch. What is the good lunch? Hello, Sora. I like this little drinky boy. This little drinky do emote. I'm full of energy. I ate an egg. And I ate some chips for breakfast. Got him for a few days now. I'm glad it went well. I can't imagine. You know? Hi! I guess I can only imagine is what I mean to say. Hello! Is my mic in the right place? Here we go. Crimson, hello! How are you? I'm gonna tighten my microphone. There we go. Okay. Alright, babies. I hope you're having a beautiful day. A sandwich with pretzels. Hell yeah! Can I get a... Alright, babies. I don't know how much game we have. I only sort of know how much. We have 2 sections of trial. But I don't know how much, like, game that's gonna be. So we're gonna just... And hopefully we can finish it today. I'm willing to go a little longer today if we're near the end. But if this first piece of the case takes like a long time, then I don't know. But I have a spoiler-free walkthrough, and the first section of the trial doesn't have that many actions in it. So we'll see. Continue. Let's go, babies. It's still early, so my throat is sort of like, you know. 23rd February, 9:23 a.m. at the Old Bailey. Oh, hello. A little close, a little too close. A little too close. Excuse me. Hold on, I'm gonna clear my throat. There we go. Oops. There we go. Wait, I remuted my... What am I doing? I remuted myself. All right, here we go. What do we have to say, Mr. Man? This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. Ah! How dare. To the miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Natsume, to everything.
And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you.
I always appreciate your help, Mrs. Sato.
Suffering Soseki selfishly sidelines! Ah!
That's the correct reaction.
Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume.
Good morning! Good morning, locum student Mr. Haru and Esquire. Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial is here. Why would you do that? Why?
Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm.
Is he like the picture of my little doggo? Hot dog doggo. Harley's Bruce, hello, how are you? I'm reading this man's words.
It seemed wrong to disturb you.
I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like, that's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Somehow, you'll have to forgive me.
And you mustn't talk of your path leading to your death, Mr. Natsume.
That was just an example. Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you'd abandoned me and returned to your beautiful long-lost homeland.
We're not even in Great Britain in a week yet.
Yeah, this is like this original. We're in the past, so we're just helping them. We've just arrived here. Well, yes. Well, anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh, what sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. All right.
It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle by your own merits.
It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective, my arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Flute, hello, how are you? Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. Truth is hidden here somewhere. I won't let it escape me. B, hello! I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end, that's all! Boop, 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 boop. How is camping, B? You have a good camp-a-lamp? Camp-a-lampo?
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
It was fun. Hell yeah! The prosecution is ready. I have my vampire escape on, and it's looking real intimidating.
The defense is ready.
Very good. I shall now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Excuse me.
Chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed?
Absolutely. Justice will be done, you mark my words.
I feel obliged to say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right.
Oh, well, I wonder if you could just adjust my hat for me. Please, be as ruthless as you like. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Vampire.
Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I've got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, what can you tell us? Prosecution's report, please, for the court.
It's good to be back home, though. Hell yeah. I don't know if I already read that, but hell yeah. The voices are good, thank you. Mostly work mode. Hell yeah. Easy work.
In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's team.
So he does have the results. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dark,
Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report.
Ah! Was that Fern? Or was that Sharku? There's two options. It's Fern! Hi, Fern!
In fact, I'll defer to the... Oh, here's to you, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression in the top of it.
Yes, that's the tea. Spill the tea, detective. Well, that's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night.
Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it.
No poison at all.
In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear.
Boo, 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 boo.
What a revelation!
As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is blameless here.
Uh-oh.
My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction.
He's so racist.
What?
Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window's ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel.
Quiet, hello.
I'm sleepy, but I want to go back to sleep. No, man, that was me this morning. I was just like...
I want to go back to bed.
Exactly, unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard.
Whoa, Ghost Socks with the red!
Why'd he throw the wine? Because he's wasteful. Welcome, Raiders! My name is Comfy Catboy. We're playing an Ace Attorney game. I do all the voices. How is Palia? Is that like a farming one? Farming sim? At what point can we just call them Stardew Likes? It's so good. Is that the one with the dinosaurs? I don't know. Zeke's is a vampire. He's a wasteful vampire man.
It's definitely a Stardew Lake.
There's one with dinosaurs, but you also farm. And I don't remember what that one's called. It might be called like Dino Valley or something. But it looked interesting. Okay. Oh no, he's hot.
Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shakespeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand.
So what we're doing in this case right now is we are defending Soseki Natsume, which is a real guy. But in this game, he's fake.
Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request.
And, this William Shakespeare claims that he definitely poisoned himself, but he's a liar, so we don't know why he's saying that, because our guy didn't do it.
Mr. Shakespeare.
Yes, it sounds like we're gonna have another confrontation with our theatrical friend.
Bailiff, show Mr. Shakespeare to the stand.
Vampires. Vampires are good. I have a vampire Miku figure. Well, Ghost Socks, if you need to do some post-self-care, go take a bathroom break, have a food, whatever you gotta do, please feel free. Don't feel like you gotta stick around or nothing.
Mr. William Shakespeare, the victim of this despicable crime.
I hate him.
Oh, heaven. Oh, hell.
Do you command me to remember?
Forsooth, 'twas I, Shakespeare, did have a bellyful of the foul liquid given in mine innocence.
Hell yeah, Ghost. That sounds great. Hell yeah, Sharky. That sounds great.
But as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe.
Because he'd be stealing gas to light the lamps and stove.
By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes.
Miku as in Hatsune Miku, that's right.
One may smile and be a villain.
Hydrate, you got it. Ow.
Forsooth, 'twas I, Shakespeare, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given.
That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief.
Ow.
I haven't forgotten. Keep all that about the ice coins a tiny secret, don't you? You should have owned up sooner.
Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once. And let him feel the sting in my tail. She's like a bee lady. Bubba Wallace, hello. Sharky, I hope so too. For your sake. Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine my own ends, I confess. Lila, hello. Thou wouldst not pardon my Ow! Of that I am sure. You acknowledge your wrongdoing. What exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death will be well deserved. But would it be that still a greater crime passes unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me. He's just dancing every which way. Your birthday's in a week. Happy early birthday. But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that.
What the defense would assert is an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspeare?
Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak.
So annoying. Very well, let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court, why is it that the poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea?
Maybe he just was never poisoned. I don't know that we've ever received conclusive proof that he actually got poisoned. But maybe that's a little far-reaching. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop from his own drink pass his... What do you mean? That's obviously incorrect. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise that poison being not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. You are full of shit. Yo, everybody's so crazy. Yo, birthday buddy. That's in 10 days and in 7 days.
The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Right, otherwise it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance.
But no poison bottle was found at the scene.
Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide.
I knew that. Mom's birthday's next month. Hell yeah.
But by now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands.
This is such a weak defense.
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a common thief of gas.
Whoa! But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen.
He like breaks his facade. Almost 2 years be! Oh my god.
Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose.
Well, I do declare.
Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. You are so full of crap. He's a strong theater boy, Fern. How the hell did he straighten it out with his hands?
He's stronger than he looks.
Okay, so let me just, like... So we've already, like, looked at it. There's no tea ring inside Mr. Natsume's cup. So, like... That means that he, Shamspeare, waited to drink his tea, as we already figured out. Star Moon Lover, hello! I'm doing great. How are you doing? Okay. Ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. No, he drank it all, though. I'm not even gonna deal with this. We're just gonna, like, present this.
Objection!
It's easy. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question.
Theater kids are something else.
But that's impossible.
How? Chop logic, what is this, ye darky-clad friend?
Tomorrow's your birthday. There's so many birthdays happening. Happy early birthday. If you're here tomorrow, I'll wish you a happy birthday. But all I can do right now is wish you a happy early birthday. I hope it's beautiful. What do you got going on for it? 2 teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant. I have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible?
What difference? Look, it's inside the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough.
Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while.
And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean.
And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. Drink.
Tea. While it's hot.
That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume, damn, was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. I haven't seen the... He's got nothing. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well, after the several hours of tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspear, you clearly lied to the court. Yet to a nunnery. What?
Objection.
Don't you dare, you vampire man. 2 years and basically 5 months for it. Oh my god. Madhouse, mad lad behavior. Heck, that's so long. I love it. As a rule, I fill my hollow chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. I love them. These characters are so extra. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Plan to go to Spirit Halloween? Go to a local witchy store and get bubble tea? Ooh, hell yeah, that's excellent. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspear. Yes, my liege? Though you previously stated that you made the coins from ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? Isbelly! Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mew crew. How are you? I want to visit a bubble tea. Boba is yumbo, bumbo. I love it. Don't! A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. He's just telling him to lie. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? What is right? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest. And you've just suddenly remembered now that you've made a mistake before. Are we supposed to believe that? People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. Gotta have high pain tolerance, crushing all that glass, yeah. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only, and secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court.
The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts.
That's not. No, you're just adding stuff now. Why don't I get to do that?
Furthermore, the testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts, in other words.
Wow! Capes off.
The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist.
No. This is bull hockey. This is absolute malarkey.
declare means there's no issue.
Except that he's a liar. My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Ale House that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death.
On what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad. Glass really does hurt. Especially if you're crying, like you're gonna get glass in your hand. An insalubrious as a menu as the establishment where it was served. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray ye, wise and noble fellows, never forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. How? Everyone hates me, but they'll just believe him, even though he's a liar. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! Oh, that's him. If I may speak, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Foreman.
I had to run over it with no shoes to get one of the kids. Ow! Oh my god. You're like a diehard man. Also had a thumbtack. Oh.
Believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer.
By me?
I dare declare you may be right.
We all know the waif here there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm.
Well, this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, huh? He's been leading us up the garden path, and that's what he's been doing.
I really never said anything like that. It wasn't great, and if I wasn't full of fear for the kid, I wouldn't have made it.
But for what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it.
Come on. What is the matter with everyone here? Obviously, he is lying. We're gonna find the jury's finding. What? No! You can't yet!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions.
Guilty.
No!
Guilty.
Come on.
Guilty.
You're also dummy!
Guilty. Guilty.
Why? Why? You are all the sussiest bakas, I swear to God.
I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord.
Oh, happy day! How is this happening? That's a great question, Ryunosuke. My lord of the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination.
Very well, the court upholds the defense's right.
Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged.
Alright, tell me your bullshit. Come on. One and all.
I'm a man of logic, mate, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
Why?
I do agree that gas is far too expensive, and I can quite understand why a man would run over a pig.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
That guy's whole character is that he and his wife argue non-stop and they want to kill each other.
If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
But he had other things. He had a steak, or he had meat and salad.
I do feel perhaps that personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced this decision somewhat. But never mind.
No, you really should mind.
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamster was poisoned. There can be no...
What, is that it? Was he? Like, are you sure? How sure are you? Then how are we supposed to turn this around?
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamster was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court, incontrovertibly.
But that's almost surely impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will
Be found guilty.
No delays, Council. Proceed with the summation examination. Stop talking to your friend there.
Stop. Ba, 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 ba. All right, we're gonna press them all.
Hold it!
All that. All the evidence, you say?
That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to that Japanese man with the big mustache.
You have a way bigger mustache. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you, Reno. Thank you, Renosuke.
Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
Alley Cat, hello. How are you? If only you had that kind of evidence.
Don't worry, the summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Let's hope so. It's me, Renosuke. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Just press everybody, please, baby, baby.
Do you agree the gas is far too expensive?
Hold it!
This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam.
But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas and air is free. Why should Altamont gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming even more ruthless than ever.
This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless, either. If I might interject here. Ah, yes, madam? It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up.
Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas, utterly forgivable.
Is it Wawante? Hello, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mew crew. What's going on? We're trying to not find our guy guilty. The other man stole gas. I got sickness, so not good. No, I'm sorry to hear that. So right now we have to convince the jury that they're wrong about their guilty verdicts.
Utterly forgivable.
No, Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes.
So Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I'm quite made up my mind. Just made up as the price of gas.
Ow. Stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal.
Hold it!
I have returned. Can we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Do you think he got poisoned by the gas?
Well, if you mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas anytime.
You'd take poison? Why does juror number 4 look like a bee? Because they are slaying Queen. Yes, Queen.
What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison can't light up or heat up a room.
Ah! You're right. I hadn't considered that at all.
Young lawyer man. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. But anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Why? Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Wait. Okay. I think at some point we'll press somebody and something will change.
Hold it!
Hold it! Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? Yeah, the other guy's name was Adron B. Meterman. Adron B. Meterman. This whole gas company's, deal is that they all dress up like bees. There's an all-out attack but the other guy's not here anymore. There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed. It's my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now, but The lady is pretty, yes. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisons. What about electricity? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? Little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even in the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed. Nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. You could say that it's not unbelievable. What if they don't have it used? Try that again. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? They steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes and take money for our precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing.
But diverting gas to their own pipes illegally? What a brazen form of theft!
When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks. Oh.
What do you mean?
This is that Parks and Rec meme with Chris Pratt. You know, it's like, what do you have? I'm gonna pursue you.
Excuse me.
Hello. Do you have something to say about that? You're number 3. Oh golly, you mean me? I keep changing this guy's voice. I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. Really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled about it recently, you see. Go on. An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fella said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. I mind. But how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Ah, I see. But in other words, if upon blowing into the pipe the lights of an adjacent property that has no contact with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might. And you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right! The lights didn't just flicker, they went out! Along with the stove, gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster.
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fella. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. But by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, possible to extinguish lamps and pipes and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. This is going to be very important information. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Why is it hooked to a lamp? It's a gas lamp. This game takes place in like the early like the late 1800s or something. Should we do bee puns? Yeah, do it. Hit me with your best shot.
Fire away!
Hey, Zop, hello, how are you? Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's secret. Like I said, madam, it's widely known already.
Very well, juror number 3, amend your stupid testimony.
Yes, my lord. Well, I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house. Then you're in real trouble. Okay. Where is this case going? We gotta find our man innocent. That's it, and that's all. Okay, so let's talk about this. You mean it's poisoned?
That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see you doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face and she sips some white powder into my cup.
Can you change my username? You change it to Z? Hell yeah. I love that. And you drank it anyway?
I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it.
What happened to you? What did it taste like?
It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell.
It was just salt. Why don't they believe us?
And I think perhaps what your wife put in the tea was salt.
No. So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please.
That part was pointless.
Nothing else was past the victim's lips that night. There's no other explanation, is there?
Hold it!
Maybe I can pit those two things. Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you change your leaning?
Sorry. What's that now?
Put sugar in our salt shaker. No! Oh, I was just saying, if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night.
What's the matter with you?
Sorry?
I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all?
Well, there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here.
Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all. It would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently.
I suppose the trouble is...
He has selective hearing.
Exactly. But still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. Yeah, okay. Looks like juror number 5 is salty. This is hopeless. No, it is not hopeless. I don't care. Yeah, okay. He just got gas poisoned. I don't want to read all this. It's just, okay. No, what? What do you need? Yeah. I know what to do. Yeah, okay, alright, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Susato. We're gonna hit these two.
Objection!
Yeah! Okay. If the music stops, you got it right. That's how you know. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the steam? To see if there are any traces of poison there.
I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
What a piece of work is a man! What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare? What speakest thou, prithee? Is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been put on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds into the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
But good lord!
Oh, you know what?
Well, they tasty then, eh, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying?
Okay, so hold on. So we have... Alright, so okay, here's what's going on. So we did a test. This is the room, right? And there's this box over here. Love the new model. Thank you so much. I love it very much as well. So this is the box. That box is like below this picture. We found there were like 1 million handprints here, and we didn't know what to make of it. But the lamp's right there, and we've hold. Sudsy was talking about how the gas lights go out every night, so he must have blown too hard to try and kill Sudsy. I think that's what's happening here. No, he's a bad guy. He's probably a villain. He's accusing us of poisoning him, but he has no sort of proof. Okay, I think that's what's going on.
The gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry, he tried to fill his belly with gas.
Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him. For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you, I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
This is no summation examination, this is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. Yeah, you just wait. Stop! You could have drank that. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips on the pipe that feeds it, he would have had to be a contortionist. It's hot Edgeworth, yeah. You just poured. Come on. These are empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamsphere put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamsphere has been doing something in front of the lamp on his wall. And I have evidence to prove it! Alright, you got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. A tiny pineapple. So now, let's see this evidence then. Now that I got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamsphere stood in front of his gas lamp. This picture. The one I was just talking about. What the? These are, wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene. Imagine being on a date with that guy and he just wastes the whole bottle of wine. It's awful! Waiter, another bottle. I'm rich, you see.
Skin prints, counsel. I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord, this is exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all the places that Mr. Shamsphere touched in his room.
I mean, he's hot though. Yeah, but this is just a general life rule. Don't let people behave badly just because they're hot. Don't let people treat you or things around them in a way that you don't like just because they're hot.
I'll never say anything like that. It means it's black magic, isn't it? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's the great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamsphere also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here. Around the hanging picture.
Around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder. Could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps?
At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are. And you would find yourself directly in front of... Ah! I don't believe it. The gas lamp! Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamsphere has regularly been standing with his hands on the wall in front of that lamp.
Right, what have you been up to, you nut?
I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. He's like a Shakespeare nut. And I don't think wine is easy to clean out. It's not. It stains everything. Especially red wine. Now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement. What, me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... If Mr. Shamsphere were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will.
Crikey!
Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
Bump, bump, bump. Bump, 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 bump.
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, please forgive the discourtesy. I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zieks? The curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing.
Oh, he didn't throw it, Fernie. Listen, sort of.
It's but a mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands.
Ow. Also.
Ha! Certainly even research by this nature by the esteemed Mr. Holmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
But... Thank you, Sato.
Please, my lord, if I may. Mrs. Sato, it was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wished to present the results of the great detective investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain the possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
We can do dirty tricks, too. You're right! Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3.
Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating!
I want to hear what the shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. Ba-bum.
Is that only 2? I need more. Uh-oh.
What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? I don't like to break a promise. No, wait. You heard his lordship. It's not fair dinkum evidence.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Satsume's trial will have to continue.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all.
Oh, he's sweating. Why, Mr. Shamster, you seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruto. You can do it!
Who's left, though?
Very well. Continue, counsel.
Okay, yeah, now what? This doesn't come for free. Well, but what do you mean? What are you sailing? What are you sailing to me? Okay. I guess let's just start pressing again. The people that are left. Maybe they'll... Maybe something's shaking out. All the evidence, you say?
That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to that Japanese man with the big mustache.
There's an English man with an even bigger mustache. The defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? Okay.
What, your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamsphere had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was.
Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides,
Yes?
even if the fella has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, doesn't mean that he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it?
Oh, well, it might, though.
You can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a very valid point, sir.
What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. No, wait.
Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. You and your Japanese cohorts can, that is.
All right. Just leave our nationality out of this, please. Please.
happens in our hodo if we can't substantiate our position. I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamsphere really did blow on the gas pipe in the night in question? Sure. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is a witness testimony that substantiates it.
What's that? Testimony? This is incredible. Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. The person whose testimony reveals details about the gas in the garret residence that night. Namely, hold on. It's either Sudsy or him. I'm gonna say it's him.
Take that!
It's gotta be him. Well, Mr. Foreman, does that convince... Oh. Okay. It must be Sudsy then. Because he said, like, the gas went out. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Okay. That was... No! Oh, really? Alright. Let's, arrest him again. Alright, okay, alright, okay, alright, okay, 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 alright, okay, okay. Be cool if they couldn't, if they would have just, like, let me guess again. But then I guess they gotta let me think maybe that was the wrong decision entirely. But I don't think that it was. I wasn't sure if because Sudsy was like, hey, I woke up and all the stuff that goes out every night, and there's a ghost choking me. But it's just that he can't breathe because there's gas filling the room. All right, okay. Let's save about in case I'm wrong again. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, baby. Okay. So let's say supporting testimony from Sudsy. Picking your nose with my mouse. Picking your nose. What about you? Present. There we go. Okay. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant. This is Sudsy Natsume himself.
The defendant?
At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following.
My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamsphere's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me.
I think it's him. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly!
Well, that Shamsphere fella blew air into the gas pipes to make the man's stove go out on purpose?
Now hold your horses there. Why would he do that for?
Ooh, he's sweating though. He did it though. Mr. Foreman!
What is it, man?
We cannot allow judgment to be passed while this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there's more to this case than meets the eye. Ah!
Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a matter of logic first and foremost.
Yay! We did it! We did it! We did it! That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue.
Yeah, baby. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now called guilty, 4 now called not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the land of the law, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamsphere.
My lord, how can thy humble Shamsphere serve thee?
What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe.
But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that,
Whoa! Bye-bye. 888 Stardust, hell yeah! I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5.
Oh, my.
As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in the British court of law. Ah! As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time unestablished conjecture. You will all do well to remember that. Ah!
Objection!
You know when the jurors hit the table to change their opinions? They accidentally hit their hand in the fire. Yeah, they'd be like, ouchies, owie, ouch. The prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamster's room to be examined. If there are any traces of poison there...
Objection!
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. Anyone behind him in the crowd has to be annoyed with all the wine he's throwing around? I would be. This ain't SeaWorld! That ain't Shamu! Ah, I didn't think of that.
In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived?
There's only one possibility that I can think of. Ah! And that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. He wanted to kill Soseki, baby.
Order, order, counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end?
The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamster wanted to end the life of...
Take that!
Yeah. If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. A gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing.
I live around these parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lid is pretty much suicide. You freeze to death in no time.
Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamster was trying to end.
Outrageous!
I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Every streamer reminded why Comfy is my comfort streamer. That's so sweet. I appreciate that. Very much. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder.
Gracious!
Woken from a nap earlier, feeling
Objection.
decent. Hell yeah.
Bonk.
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, y'all are so sweet. What the heck? The fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison in the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Maybe it was a drone bee meterman.
Yes, that would seem indeed logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have been known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison?
So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs? Ah, you mean to suggest? Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could have possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack could only have been the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Ah! That's just not... A drone bee meterman could have done it. I think it was a drone bee meterman. Comfy's my cover streamer when I saw him streaming today. I made a beeline. A beeline? That's so sweet. I'm sorry you're sick, though. Y'all are sweet to me, this Catboy, me, Comfy. Whatever Mr. William Shamsbury may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could have possibly have is the accused, Mr. Natsume. That's not true. Could have been a drone beam meter man. The defense's counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused, far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Naps are good unless you wake up with head pain. Probably that just means you're dehydrated. When you're sleeping, you're breathing out water vapor at a higher rate than when you're awake. But also you're not drinking any water, right? So like you get dehydrated when that happens. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? Bonk. Come on, babies. What's the problem, Boblum? How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly?
Senator Hody, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage!
Yeah, get up. What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. We must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean, name the true culprit?
I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all.
As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, don't you worry.
Objection.
We know exactly what.
Objection!
There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime.
The true culprit?
A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? So, okay. It probably wasn't him. Okay. She got poisoned. She knows about poison. And she told us all sorts of stuff. Olive green. Haha!
Take that!
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mrs. Shamspeare is, I believe, Ms. Olive Green.
It's Olive Green.
Miss Olive Green.
I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where.
Ms. Olive Green. The woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of a stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add.
Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago.
And I hardly need to remind the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night the incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible. Still, my colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison.
Gracious, she had poison!
And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought into the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court.
Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare.
My lord, pray, what be thy bidding?
Are you acquainted with Miss Green?
No, never heard of her.
Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her, at least not by name.
As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nipponese friend's farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here.
Yes, Miss Olive Green.
Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient.
Very well, I grant the request.
Excellent, I hope.
The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned.
Bonk.
Bonk, bonk, bonk. To be continued, baby, baby, baby. But we're gonna continue it right now. But I am gonna take a tiny break. I ran out of tea, so I'm gonna pour more tea. Save my current progress, baby, baby. All right. Once the music starts, I'll be right back. Joyful jubilant jumping jacks. Beautiful. Okay. I'll be right back. I love you. Oh, I wasn't supposed to put salt in my tea? Uh-oh. Ah! Hello, I'm back. Let's crack this nut right open, Mr. Nutsume.
Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you.
Locum student, Mr. Naruto Esquire, and non-locum judicial assistant, Ms. Mikotoba Esquires. Now, finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I'm innocent and proof that my tea is innocent. Oh, hello. Good morning, my dear fellows. Ah, Hairlock Sholmes! May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent! But the tea was innocent.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came! How wonderful!
Ow! Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. Sleep seduced me last night, I thought. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. That spirited determination has a beauty all its own, does it not?
Oh, yes!
And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? Hydrate. And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter?
Oh, yes.
Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted. Began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so, the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already. What others presuppose, I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Oh boy. Ah, yes, one more thing. Do you remember this?
Ah!
Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to... It was a laborious task, as the bottle was near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder shows. Excuse me. I managed to confirm that it contains strychnine. So I was right. Perhaps, though of course, such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. We have a how does he know about that we called Olive Green? I forgot what voice I gave her. Could I have a... Oh, that's just him. Could I have a word? Vixen, how good of you to come. Forget it. Excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector. I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. The look on your face, I'd say it's something else. It's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, my life would be a whole lot simpler for me.
You have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamster's room.
Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamster's room? Don't forget where it came from, everyone.
A man by the name of... Ah, yes, Selden.
What's his... Please tell us his last name. I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that... Well, it caught my eye.
Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What? Damn me! Ah!
I've copied out the relevant parts for you. You can read it yourselves. Thank you. The capital offender file's been added to the correct...
These documents include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamster's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information.
Okay. Are you giving us... Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful.
Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown. Shining diamond in the rough, maybe. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. Bye. Okay, hold on. Before we go in, let's check this out. Alright. Investigative findings related to Selden. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Died of natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. The estimated 1,000 pounds worth of loot he stole remains unrecovered. Alright. Okay. This is what's going on. Now that I know that, so our boy Shamspear had we learned this last time. He went to Mr. Garadeb, and he was like, I want the middle room. Gotta have that middle room. It's gotta be the middle room. Selden lived in the middle room. On the middle floor, I guess. This guy, oh shoot, this guy, used to live there. This was Olive's boyfriend or fiance or something. And he died from a gas leak, I think. And that was almost certainly caused by our boy Shamspear, age 31. So I think now what this all must mean is that he keeps trying to kill the people in the middle room, because we learned that, like, the day that other guy died, Soseki was like, I'll take the room because it's cheap as hell. And I feel like he wanted to move in to look for clues to find the money. I think that's what's happening, and we know that he's, like, poor because he's stealing gas. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all, certainly not. Thank you, Mr. Shorms. I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache in flood of tears personally, so the best of luck to you. Welcome, student Mr. Naruto Esquire. Yes, Mr. Natsume? It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspear. This is going to be the final battle. I won't really have saved Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Rinosuke. You have to! Ah!
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court to be in session again now. For the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim of this case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores.
Thank you for that backhanded consideration.
A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zeeks, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand?
Excuse me. Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the witness in.
I don't remember what voice. She's painting. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. William Shamspear, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied. Currently unemployed, in other words. What's her voice? Maybe I'll give her like, I'm Olive Green, a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure is too weak-spirited to admit she has no talent, I suppose. Also, currently unemployed, in other words. What a what? What's this word? Chat, what's this word? A coterie? What is that word? I have to, listen, what is this word? Oops. C-O-T-I-E-R-E? E-I-R-E? A small group of people with shared interests or tastes. Okay, thank you. That wasn't very exciting.
Mr. Shamspear.
My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would have for naught else, my lord.
And Miss Green.
Yes?
You are aware of the reason you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume?
Yes, the officer did explain. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. And, do you accept the charge, Miss Green? I don't know anything about any poisoning. And, I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady, die to live. Wow. Verily, I know not thy prickly pea-pigmented personage.
Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever go to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by the neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in the hospital fighting for my life.
Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garrideb household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days.
I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion? What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green.
At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened. Oh, no! The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful accident? Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamspeare.
But what happened 6 days ago is nothing to do with me being poisoned. Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court. On the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February.
They both have their weapons out, you know? It was 6 days ago, about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow and I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper. It was the first time I'd been in the area. Had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all this business. Okay. Alright. Okay, alright, okay.
Yes, a second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. Can only presume this is a most unfortunate coincidence.
Meanwhile, you say you are not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare. About to try sweet tea. Hope there's no salt in it. I don't like sweet tea. I like my tea unsweetened. Personally. But so many people like sweet tea, and that's fine. I don't like a sweet drink unless it's like what I'm having. I don't like to drink a sweet drink with food. I know that might be weird, but that's where I'm at with it. 'Twas the following morn when I did awaken in that I learned of the dire events. Marry, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine. Tsuseki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it.
Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish.
Yes, my lord. Let's go, gamers. Let's press everybody, baby.
Hold it!
All that, I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Salt tea. It was awful. I can't believe I was unconscious for so long. And I woke up to find the case had been solved and the culprit arrested.
Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended with your awaking and should now be forgotten.
About a Sprite and its common logic. Sprite is good for them sick days. Yeah, if you got like a stomach problem, Sprite is the way. But sweet tea, I mean, like having a ton of sugar, I don't know what kind of sick you are, but adding a ton of sugar to your stomach might not be like the it's the Sprites because of the carbonation and stuff. The lemon limeness of it. Yes, I suppose. Thank you. But before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day for us to arrive at the truth about this new case. Trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement. Minding my own goddamn business. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings.
Hold it!
Hell yeah, Alley Cat. What were you doing there that day, though? What do you mean? The art school you attend. What's it called? Ah, yes. It's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts.
According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brighton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene of the crime.
I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Is it Brixton or is it Brighton? That's probably Brixton. I'm just gonna call it Brixton. So why then would you be walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End?
Well, it's because, oh yes, of course. I thought it might make a nice picture.
The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas.
That's right. I happen to like the crumbly look of that part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term.
Point is, she's definitely hiding something.
Yes, it seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth.
She's trying to hide why she was there that evening. It must mean that there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shakespeare, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago? Would you tell the court exactly what you were doing?
'Twould be my pleasure, sire.
I was at the tavern on the eve.
Hold it!
I ate dinner. It was busted. Tavern, you say? Which one?
Was the Slug and Salad,
where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End. And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Van Zeeks? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining, for the locality at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room.
It's true, the menu lists premium crust of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness.
I would have expected Grubb's Grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your meals. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be?
Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why you had to go to that particular establishment.
Agreed. The fact that on the day of all days, he dined at a place that he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. So Mr. Shakespeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were also slightly suspicious. If we have some evidence to explain those actions, present evidence. I think that's where they were supposed to meet up. Mr. Shakespeare. Yes, sire. On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason? I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakest. Very well, I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day, namely... Wait. Wait, I thought we had a letter. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, I thought we had a... Oh, I made a mistake. Shoot. We connected. I thought we looked at this letter, but I guess we don't have that letter in evidence. You know what? I also realized I never finished reading this. I got excited about that. I never read the second page about the Selden man. A condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester's Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours of the morning. He had been suffering a fever since the end of October. Wow. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Okay. That's not new information. Oh, I didn't look at this either. But... is there anything even to look at? Is there anything on this bottle, baby? The bottom of the bottle. So this is the poison we've been hearing so much about, strychnine. There are a few remnants on the bottom of this bottle here, look.
You mustn't be tempted to try it.
Of course not, as long as we don't lose this trial.
No! Even if we lose a trial! No, we mustn't lose a trial in the first place, Mr. Naruto.
I think it reminds us Adozan. Okay, well. Not very interesting. So, yeah, I think I've hecked up here. Okay, well. That's fine, that's fine. We don't have that place. That's not on the map. Alright, my bad, my bad. I'm gonna present this since I think I have to present something.
Take that!
But this isn't gonna be it.
Oh, good Horatio. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Horatio?
I believe it's a line from Shakespeare's play Hamlet, Mr. Naruto.
Be it a line from a great Shakespeare or from this, Mr. Shamspeare, the message is the same. My learned Nipponese friend is wide off the mark.
That's wrong, that's wrong. That should be off, I think. Oddly surprising given the witness's obtuse literary quotes. Okay, so.
I wonder if there's perhaps some evidence that would explain why it was a slug and salad he visited.
I think we have discussed this issue enough.
I thought I had it too, but.
Gladly I would thy bidding do, Horatio.
I'll just keep pressing them, I suppose.
Hold it!
Hold it.
Little matter, Miss Green. Please elaborate. It was nothing really. It's not worth mentioning. If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital. Ah. It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green. What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan. Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
Hello? Sir? Mr. Shamspeare, do you have something to share with the court?
To be or not to be,
That is the question.
ah, pray forgive me, the great bard's word springeth from me, with ne'er a thought.
Don't tell me it's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance.
Well, nay, sire, 'twas nothing at all.
Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house.
I would it were so, but sadly nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me.
So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours?
Miss Green.
Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before containing the note, do you have it upon your person?
Here we go. I do, yes, but I don't need any more. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, this court will take it as evidence, please.
Alright, there it is. That's what links them. Yeah. Now continue with your testimony. Alright, baby. Yeah, let's read this heckin' note. The envelope has been ripped over rather carelessly, hasn't it? Screen strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah, what is it? The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen the exact shape somewhere before.
Think of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruto?
Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up. Yeah, baby. Ooh, baby.
They go together perfectly! This torn-off envelope clearly belongs with this card.
Beautiful. Bum bum bum. Boop boop. Schmoop schmoop. Okay, but what about the letter? What about the letter itself? Ah! Now, hold on. But I can't read the letter. But I want to read it. Oh my God. I'll just press this last thing, just to press it, but... Yes, you didn't regain consciousness until the day after the trial, did you, in the early hours? Exactly. How could I have had anything to do with it? And yeah, you still haul me in here to court like this, honestly. So at the time of the poisoning, the witness was unconscious in her hospital bed. Could there be a more airtight alibi, I ask you? And yet, in spite of that, you claim that I was the culprit? Well, Pinky Slime Girl, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mew crew. How are you? Welcome, welcome. But you certainly haven't produced any evidence to support your wild claim, have you? Not at all. Well, there you have it. The good lady has yet to see evidence, my learned Nipponese friend. I'm working on it.
Until I will point out that the jury's next decision will be final.
We're really up against the wall here.
Listener Hoodoo!
Worked out well, hasn't it? We have a few clues at least. Now I need to pull off a really insightful objection somewhere.
Well, as you've managed to expose this promising new angle, I wonder if you should perhaps try to develop that.
Ah, yes, of course. By yelling out objections. Yelling out objections isn't necessarily the best way to do that, I suppose. Alright. I think that's a clue to be like, pursue him. About the restaurant, baby. Except, like, I'm gonna save again, because, like, I feel like this is one of those ones where I'm like, dang, I know what the answer is, but I don't know why the evidence supported to me isn't, like, it's not giving the truth. Let's press this, and I guess we'll just present the letter. Tavern, you say? Which one? Alright, let's go there. Scooby dooby dooby doo ba ba ba. Alright, okay, alright, okay, alright, okay. Here we go. We read all this stuff already, baby, 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 baby. Yeah, let's give evidence. Present it. Do it. Come on. Yes. Yeah. Oh. Here we go. All right. Present the letter.
Take that!
Yeah. I believe this card reveals the answer.
Lord, Miss Green's card,
You mean green card? My eyes hurt so much. Are you sleepy? That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anyone else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamspear, your actions on the morning of Ms. Green's stabbing, sitting up, are exactly as described in this note. I'm gonna hit this button. There we go. I readjusted my trackings very slightly. Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspear? Well... Excuse me. Can I say something? Yes, Miss Green. That card was delivered to me. Doesn't have anything to do with this old man, does it? Well, you'd think so, yes, but it's hard to believe it's merely... My lord, may I?
May you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about that card.
Very well, then, you may amend your testimony to include details about the particular note.
Miss Green is an onion. She's an olive. This note was delivered to me at my address. It has nothing to do with this odd man next to me here, but it does. Here, we're going to present the other half.
Objection!
Oh! It's a green onion. The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in the hospital. Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me. Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn off end of an envelope. Oh, is it? And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. Where'd you find that? In Mr. Shamspeare's room. In my room? Mr. Shamspeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere?
Well...
Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspeare. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green. What'd I do? As this torn-off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession? I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all. There is only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it. You did what? Sorry, thou hast what? Thou were in my room. Star, good morning. What on earth? What do you want with me? Bonk.
It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again.
Ms. Green. Yes? Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. She's sweating. Yes, I know.
Very well then, witnesses. You will give formal testimony again now. On the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Ms. Green claims to have received.
I wonder if she did it. Yeah, maybe I was wrong. Maybe she sent the note to him to get him out of the house, and then she went in there, and then when she left, she got stabbed. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, peradventure, that note was delivered unto me. On the day writ therein, I did tarry the long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck in this man's room, do you? Why would I? Get the note back. I can pull it out the villain here, and it's for sure that torn-off piece. And as for that torn-off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamspeare?
Faith, 'tis so, my lord. And I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I'd returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it.
Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was...
A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair do you think I'm the one lying?
I beg your pardon.
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is. If that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in there. I don't see why I should explain. Sorry. I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is to say what happened, and that's all. It's my job. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer. The fledgling will do as much. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth.
Well, counsel?
I'm ready, my lord.
Very well, then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shamspeare's room. There could be no question to that. That's how she acquired the note.
Yes, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all this. And it's not a pretty one. Uh-oh, it's not pretty. Uh-oh. Alright.
Hold it!
Bum, 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 bum.
Can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as mine own, verily, 'tis impenetrable. But Mr. Duncan Ross had lodging in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you? Alack! If the choices were betwixt I knew him and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted. Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the slug and salad. Soup. I want soup. Presumably, that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature. Marry, not will have the better of me, sire, save from the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true, I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. Yet in the end, my curiosity was not satiated. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the slug and salad, yet nobody came. So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared? Well, yes, sire, 'tis as thou sayest. Really? You paused for a moment before you answered. In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall.
Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all?
I was not alone that night in the slug and salad, my lord. No, 'tis returning to me now. Ow. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. And all around me danced a great many companions. What do you mean? Flies, sire, flies.
Good lord!
The name of Basilbob, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer's night dream, come to taunt me. I think they were just flies.
I can't help but thinking the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me?
That's cold-blooded. Thereafter on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished. Vanished. Exactly did you notice it had gone missing? When? Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. In other words, you didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room.
Yes, it would appear that the note disappeared sometime in that interval.
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busy with greater ideas. But they'll cracker at him. Do it. I won't stop you.
And yet during that time, Miss Green was comatose in the hospital, was she not? Clearly then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Ah, yes. Yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir? Oh, he not answering. You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note. Ah, of tea, it's right.
I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that.
Oh, dear me. What's Lord Van Zeek's getting at? He's sort of a butthole, but he does want the truth, ultimately. You think I snuck into this man's room? Why would I? It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shamspeare about 1 week ago. Oh, does it? But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless.
Miss Green could have only come into the possession of that note.
Ow! Hydrate, I will. Posture, I will. Thank you.
Could only come in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamspeare's room. And yet there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing.
What if there was some other reason she broke into these lodgings, though?
Yes! We should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruto.
We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. Bum 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 bum. I can point out the villain here. As for that torn off piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it.
Hold it!
So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it? I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. Introverted? Fie! This fledgling doth readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I am an angel, just like me, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh, pity, where Wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman? Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure. Ah! Tragedy, thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. Just like me. I'm a little fast boy. Oh, the days, oh, the years, alas, to enlighten me, thou must wait so long and in vain.
Then our Hodo interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine.
I'm not no Shakespearean actor, Mrs. Sato. No, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument is evidence. Yes. Okay, well, what evidence do I have?
Well, Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shamsford's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter.
Yes, two more or less foregone conclusions that led me to one terrifying conclusion.
Terrifying!
Yes, I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. But I love Susato so much. Okay. Well, let's see. What do we got here? I don't know. What, like... So we need to bug her. Like, she's the one we gotta bug, for sure. Why would I sneak into his room? Why would I do that? Is it to poison? Did you sneak into poison? Did you do that? Did you do that? I'm gonna say, I'm so nervous about this. I know I just saved not too long ago, but listen. Yo, we save coming up in here, boys. Alright, let's just assume she's murderous.
Objection.
Okay, I guess she's murderous. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. Ah! According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Chalmers, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamster. Yes, we know. Thank you. Ah! Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. Cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room with poison.
Can this be?
You broke into my room to... It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there is only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspeare's life with poison was you, Ms. Olive Green. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie. Me! What's she painting? She's all upside down.
Order, order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill?
Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts.
But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely.
Well, that's a very good point. I think the other guy was also trying to kill Natsume. Make that food, baby. It's so dramatic when they get caught.
Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of an ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time.
Lord Van Zeeks.
Oh, of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shamster's address.
More activity? Ah, yes. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder.
That's right! And the defense has already proposed that Mr. Shamster is meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself. To cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant.
It's a double murder time. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamspeare had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in a prison cell. With a need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant.
And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again.
Right. Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end.
Trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted.
That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamspeare was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier.
Ah, Mary!
She got a little box to stand on. With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all a part of the plan.
What plan?
The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear.
To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time. To make sure I wasn't home.
Exactly. While you were out, Ms. Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed.
You mean to say that letter
Was written by Ms. Green, yes. In order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room! Boop, boop, boop.
Order. What do you have to say for yourself, witness?
Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Ms. Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial.
So, that's what's behind all this. Well, share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person
It's the guy. It's you.
It's Duncan Ross.
Take that!
Duncan Ross?
That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took residence in the lodgings of Mr. Garadev's, somebody else was renting the room, Mr. Duncan Ross.
I knew I'd heard the name somewhere else.
I love Ace Attorney music so much, it's so good.
It was all over the papers a month ago when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodging. That does ring a vague... Ah, of course, yes, I remember now. The young man they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse or some such.
Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamspeare blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Haha, well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths, that's all people care about. If it's an interesting story, they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him.
You mean Duncan was...
Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiancé?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along! Because you're her sworn enemy, the murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry.
Mary!
Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamspeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? She's painting nothing. That canvas is empty.
This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder?
I mean, yeah. Sorry, though. Yes, my lord, that's correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gases, causing his judgment to be clouded.
What?
Why would Mr. Shamspeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. 'Tis lies, all lies, I deny every utterance. And you'll have to forgive me, Mr. Narhardo, sir. But I don't intend to admit anything either.
Miss Green.
I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
Objection.
But you broke into the man's room.
If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason? I thought I'd have a look around, that's all. Sorry. You're right, I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence of something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh, violence, oh, villainy, oh, tyranny, oh, rotundery of woman, come on. But in any case, where I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. She's got a key right there. That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some terps and a piece of wire. Oh, awfulness, oh, artfulness, oh, tyranny, oh, profanity of woman. We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed. Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. And this fool's whole career jet set. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. One of the floorboards is loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place. Yes, we also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box.
Ah, yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty. What? There was something in it? Yes. Oh. This rather nice key. Ah! Whoa. What are you doing with that? Tamper. Well, it wasn't evidence yet. She just stole. She just did a steal.
3 ounces of color is drained from his face.
Give it here. Give it to me right now. It's mine. I inherited it. What is that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it? No, What's all this about? What's all this, and he inherited that key? It was obviously important to you since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Why is the prosecution so hot? Because it's an ace attorney game. They don't make unattractive people. Give it back this minute. Give it to me.
Calm yourself, witness.
Mr. Shamspear had tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamspear at first. But considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it.
What?
Yeah! I need to recall every piece of it. It's Selden. Because I'm sure that what I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all these events.
In that case, counsel, present evidence, for God's sake. Hurry up, hurry it up.
Okay, Oh. Take that.
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not?
The Selden file. How did you get a hold of that? Selden? The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant, Mr. Natsume, have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Well, yes, we know this, certainly.
A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries.
I see.
It so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The some £1,000 worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found.
Oh, yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here.
£1,000 lost en route to hell. That is how the papers summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. Ah, you mean this key is... Mr. Shamsphere, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? 'Tis a false charge, I tell you, a false charge. The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is.
But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings?
There's only one explanation to that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. So, it all comes out. Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamsphere's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense.
When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garadeb's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice.
Because Selden's old room had already been let out to somebody else, Mr. Duncan Ross.
Which is why Mr. Shamsphere subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room.
However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it.
Mr. Suseki Natsume, the defendant of this case, no less.
So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamsphere? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict.
Oh, you,
Dead. He died. He's dead. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they stretch... What? My neck. Listen.
Oh, this is Selden. Listen, I want you to have my loot. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got here. Here, take this key. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you now, I guess, Shamsphere. What a criminal... Criminal, baby, baby, ooh, 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 ooh.
It's mine.
What did he just say?
It's mine. That loot is mine.
Oh, God! Looking crazy. Mr. Shamsphere!
It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me, for the time being, anyway. Verily, you can't arrest a victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close, I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd just give up?
There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through. But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. Earthbound fan, welcome. How are you? I'm afraid that however hard you press on him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruto. There is a way. Pardon? There's one way I can finish him. No. He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot, which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan, were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed.
Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule.
Only, there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly. This is the final piece in this complex puzzle, but I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may have... Well, we'll have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. Do we? My lord.
Yes, counsel.
The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then. Same technique.
Very well then, Counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hall?
Yeah.
Take that!
Yeah.
We use skin prints, if I'm not mistaken. Those are Mr. Shakespeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings.
That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene.
Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Sholmes.
A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? You really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title?
I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shakespeare. Hello! Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title.
Ah! 'Tis Sherlock Sholmes himself! What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy backseats of the capital, are they not?
Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since last we met. And Mr. Sholmes, he does know Lord Van Zeeks then. Well enough to say something like that in any case.
Sholmes, my boy!
Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say?
I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's a method by which we are able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. Huh. You only need a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary! So now, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, yes? What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Saseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that was hidden in his old room. How long will the sample take? It's the key. I mean, we just need to present a person. We will need something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. And something the convict owned perhaps happens to be the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain the... It's her.
Take that!
She's got a key. Miss Green. Ah, May? What do you want from me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin printer seeker. Skin boy thing. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Oh. Mr. Shakespeare's one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in this former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. So, Mr. Shakespeare, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hand on Selden's stolen wealth. Grrr. Sholmes is hot, he can do whatever he wants. In that case, I'll gladly have Mr. Sholmes have this key.
No, give the key to me. Detective shan't have it.
It's over, Mr. Shakespeare.
No.
You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt.
Whoa.
Is this the death screen? Yeah! Oh, shameful spear! Despair! Getting like, be thy name! Oh! Oh, the death animations. Forget about it. We won, baby. Where's your hat?
I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of his room, that's all.
So you'd have some time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods?
Yet after you'd killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused.
Why?
I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing.
Mr. Garrett really has a lot to put up with.
And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease.
Poor Mr. Natsume, what an unfortunate timing.
Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books.
I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot.
Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove into his room.
Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap.
William Shakespeare, how does it go? To be or not to be, that is the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Alright, Van Zeeks. Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. Ow! It fell off his head. I don't know. Alright. You're done. You're done in rings, my guy. My guy. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died.
I don't know. This is Duncan.
The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive? The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. All right, then, if that's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms in my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I better not. We'd said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember? Yeah, she's little. Stand on the box. But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was gonna happen, I'd have insisted. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school. But something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grubb's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican?
My place is cursed, I tell you, cursed. The ghost of that convict who lives there is trying to suffocate me. I wake up in the middle of the night freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. The pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking.
But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations.
A rumor? Ah, you mean?
Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, how they go around checking the pipes.
How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework.
That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I'd had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End. A black market? I'd never been. I'd just heard people talk about them. And you can really buy anything if you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident or was it murder?
And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. A smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait.
If Mr. Shamster was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done.
But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly.
I like that. I found the name of the man I suspected, William Shamspere. And then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Rouse. Come to the Slug and the Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Searing Repay, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mew Crew. How are you? If he'd done it, I knew that I'd worry him enough so... If he'd done it, I knew that'd worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shamspear followed the instructions to the letter. I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of the poison I'd bought all over the mouth of the pipe. And all the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get his just desserts. I had the bloodlust. I was lusting for blood. I wanted to see people die. Me, Olive Green. I love death. What can I say? Where'd her easel go? Bonk.
3 days ago, when you were first stood in this dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward.
Yes, my lord.
I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes.
It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend. Oh, yes. And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. See, he's like an okay guy, mostly.
Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of this tunnel, as it were. Miss Green.
Yes, my lord.
You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamspear.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shamspear, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present.
Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? Yesterday at the hospital, when you and your friend stopped me from ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle? I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green. Oh! I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamspear didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Oh, she's so happy. Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now, you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Yay. Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Soseki Natsume!
Yes, my lord.
Court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty.
We are in full agreement, my lord.
In that case, I hereby declare the defendant
not guilty. Yay. Okay, but this case has something to do with the future. But what? How could it?
Court is adjourned!
Yay. We did it! We did it! We did it! Wow! Alright, what happens post-court? Oh, yes, yes, at last. Divine justice duly done! Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No, this has nothing to do with my mustache.
Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes.
Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Squire, once again. You've saved me from doom! I'm very happy to have been of help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. I was first acquitted with and gained affection for acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you?
But a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not?
You did, and I've seen more of life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog.
My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences.
Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live.
Well said, I've come to feel the same way.
I've made a decision, too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan.
What?
Just when we'd become friends here in England. What a terrible shame.
Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings. It really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose.
Oh my, so you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume. How wonderful!
Oh, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature.
Why not, when that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache?
I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur.
You're gonna be put on money soon, my guy.
I, for one, would love to read your work.
Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper.
Ah, that's very true.
And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand.
My goodness, yes, faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure.
But that's not why I'm leaving! I mean it!
Objection. And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Saseki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. Barely any time later, Sasato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well, on the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day, the day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now-deceased convict in his former lodgings. There's more. Give me that loot. Give me that loot.
Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you. You uncovered the secret hiding place in just one day.
Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson? Gregsy's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Harley.
Happily, I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling. What's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let's look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the hall. What is that? Whoa. Bloody.
It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar.
Collar? It's huge, though. Look at all the gemstones set in it. Oh, this is Iris. I can see why it was claimed to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps it could use it as a belt.
Oh, have you noticed the inside there? There are some dark stains.
You don't think? It could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it. On second thoughts, maybe I won't use it as a belt.
And of course, there's some emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown.
does it signify, do you think? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know. Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color is drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, oughtn't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It should be kept safely under lock and key. Ah, yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot, and hand it over. Now! Interesting. I've never seen such a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. That's not what stood out the most to me, at least not once I'd noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar, those stains. They really have been blood? Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now. You look very pleased, Iris. I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use at the basis of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating. Talking about the latest installment? That's spelled wrong, too. Of the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, I presume. The mystery of the knife and the mist. And the mustache man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I can make it a two-part story.
Oh, I can't wait.
A word, please, Iris. Yes, what is it, Harley? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? It's a great case. But I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? That's so strange. He's very Vash the Stampede on being silly and then, you know, on a dime being very serious. Yes.
And so it was that the second of Soseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Oh, yeah. Yo! Yo! That says end right behind me. Right down there. Hell yeah, babies! Alright, we got to the end of this case. There are 3 more cases. And we're gonna start the next one tomorrow, babies. I always forget they actually have VAs. I can only hear the voices you do. Yeah, they're very non-accurate, I suppose. Hell yeah. I would love to return to the title screen. Yes, please. Yo, babies! Thank you all so much for hanging out today. We're gonna find somebody to raid. But in the meantime, I have a few links I'd like to share with you. Actually, I just have a quick announcement. So we're gonna finish this up tomorrow. Well, we're gonna continue this tomorrow, I should say. Start the new case tomorrow. But this Saturday at 9 a.m. over on my editing YouTube channel, which I've just linked, I'm gonna be doing another editing workshop. So if you want to, if you want to find me on Twitter, my hotkey did something. I'm gonna quit this game. If you find a post on Twitter where I am asking for shorts, if you are a content creator and you want me to review your short live on stream, that is the place to do it. Put it there and I'll take a look. That's this Saturday. You have until Friday to get submissions up on Twitter. Additionally, here are some links. We got the card. That's a one-stop shop to all things Comfy Catboy. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or anything like that. Oh, Clara's going. We'll raid Clara. The Discord is the best place, or the card's the best place to do that. We also have the Discord. It's a beautiful place full of lovely, lovely people, and I would love, love, love to see you there. Oh no, Clara's tummy hurts. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a special raid message. So we're gonna say like, we're gonna use this. Oh shoot. No. Go back. We're gonna copy this. And we'll, here, how about this? You can copy and paste this if you are a subscriber. Pepto-Bismol raid. When we get to Clara. And I will be back tomorrow. I love you all dearly. And I hope you have a lovely... Yeah, or that works too. I hope you have a lovely Wednesday. And I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Yay!